Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's such a pleasure to be here with you because at the end of the day, the OIC has done so much for the South Florida community. Everybody who's been engaged has really been an active participant in ensuring that we can uplift everyone in not just the Americas, but in our district. In our district, we find that we've been suffering from high unemployment rates, we've been suffering from high housing costs, and more importantly, we've been really struggling when it came to having economic opportunities. But what we've seen in the last few months, as I've been in Congress, we started seeing some of the lowest unemployment rates. We started seeing more opportunities being created. And that's what puts us in a great place today, but we know how much work needs to come. So I was looking at the Pew Institute, some research, and we found that the biggest disparities when it comes to minorities and people of color really are focused when it comes to education. So you know what that means. That means a lot of families who actually sacrifice to take out loans and go to college, they actually have the biggest wealth gap when we look at our counterparts who have been educated, college educated, PhDs, and it puts our families in a situation where we feel like we're being cemented into poverty. And that's where the importance of making sure that we're offering programs, vocational programs, especially vocational programs in our district for careers that are so imperative right now, such as technology, infrastructure projects. It's really the foundation of what we're doing in Congress, and it's the foundation of what the Biden administration has been wanting to do for the entire nation to give us that leg up. But we must address and do more when it comes to student loan debt. Student loan debt, as I mentioned, is really what's been compounding and not allowing our middle-class families and our middle-class individuals to actually break through and even come out into prosperous living. As such, we've been in intense debates with the administration on lowering at least $50,000 in student loan debt for our families. But to be honest with you, I personally believe $50,000 is not enough. And the reason why is because when we actually sat down with the Department of Education, we found that 50% of student loans they have already determined will never be paid back. Never. So if they believe that they will never be paid back, why not alleviate the students of that debt and of that burden? Because reality is they will not have a chance to actually break through. And so that's what I've been fighting for as a member of Congress in your district. In addition to that, we've also looked at the wealth gap and the ability to even acquire property. We've seen historically that property has allowed many communities to start building wealth, to start gaining interest on their investment. And so we need to be taking affirmative steps in doing that. So with that, I'm very proud to announce what we actually started, a grant we opened up with HUD. A few weeks ago, we had Marcia Fudge, the Secretary of HUD, in our district, walking our district for the first time. Yes. It was a great feat for us because I needed everyone in the administration to see our district, to see our love, to see our pride, to see our tenacity, to see our resilience, but more importantly, see our commitment to success. We had so many children who were living in affordable housing who said, I can't wait to be a doctor, a lawyer. And so for us to actually visualize that and make it a reality, we wanted to make sure we had housing options. But this grant that I want to announce is the Bridging the Wealth Gap grant. This is such a huge opportunity for us because it helps families actually gain access to better credit scores, it helps them with deposits, but it also helps them to be a part of the actual foundation of gaining homes. And with that, we have over $676 million going forward to build single-family housing. So we're reimagining what housing looks like. We're reimagining what the workforce looks like. We identified even money for training through emergency management to allow more training in our district so we can have people participating in those contracts. And we've also allocated more funding, and we're looking at what we've written in, which is diversity and inclusion, to make sure that we have more opportunity for our business. So at the end of the day, we are so honored and happy to work with the OIC, and I thank so much the President for having me here today so we can announce all the great things that we're doing, but more importantly, the opportunities that are coming to our district. We are at a pivotal point right now in our district where we can decide if we thrive or if we stay stagnant. And everyone who's here today has made that commitment to thrive. Everyone who's here today has made that commitment to seek more information, to start making sure that we're actually lifting ourselves up, that we have a sustainable economy, but our entire district, the entire South Florida area, will grow, thrive, and be known not just as the Wall Street of the South, but as one of the thriving economies that we've ever seen in the South. So I thank all the elected officials who have helped us get to this point, and I thank all of you for being here with us. So as we chart our path to a greater society, uplifting everyone through middle class into wherever they may want to go in life, I enjoy being here. And I want to leave on one last note. My last note is that I stand here today, and a lot of people say, hey, Sheila, you don't look like what you came from. And I explained to them that it was this community that loved me. When I was counted out as a single mother and had to return back from school, people said I was a statistic and I would never break free. I thought it was the biggest disappointment of my life, because when you're in poverty, you're the only one who can break free for your family. But because of the love of this district, because they loved me, babysat my daughter, encouraged me to go to law school, pursue my master's degree, that's why I stand here today. And so this is my commitment to the OIC, to everyone in this district, to everyone here, that there will be more people. If you choose to pursue the American dream, we have an obligation to create the opportunities. We have an obligation to encourage you, and we have an obligation to use the power of the pen and the power of our presence to ensure that everyone attains success in our country. Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely being here.